So my YouTube channel just reached 1,000 subscribers. And in fact, it actually just went over 1,100. So we're already working on that big 2,000. But I wanted to go ahead and take this opportunity to actually answer some of your questions. When I originally thought about this, it was sort of to answer the questions about me, about who I was. But after asking you guys for all of your questions, I ended up getting a ton of different types of questions that range from silly questions all the way to dental school questions and some personal. So that's sort of what I'm gonna tackle in today's video. If you've never seen any of my videos and you're new to the channel here, my name is Steven. I'm a first-year dental student. I'm studying at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center in Memphis. And I make YouTube videos about pretty much everything around dental school and my life and just the things that are important to me. So thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and get into some of your questions. I'm gonna start with the Instagram questions because there was a bunch of Instagram questions. And you can follow me on Instagram, by the way, steven.p.ray.dentistry. First question is from Miriam, and she says, what are the top 3 advice you would give to everyone? So this is a great question. Advice is really important. I love to give advice to younger people who are looking for the wisdom of someone who's lived for a little bit longer. So here we go. The number 1 best piece of advice is to never neglect your health and physical fitness. I think that eating healthy and exercising regularly are 2 of the most important things that we can do as human beings. It's something that's often neglected in our world today, and I think the benefits are almost unlimited. I can just tell you from experience that eating healthy and working out have been 2 things that have made my life richer and more full, and I recommend them to anybody. The second piece of advice is to start documenting things in your life more often. So start taking your phone out more and just filming and taking pictures of the important things in your life. I know it kind of sucks to be the person who has their phone out and is like actually filming stuff. And I don't mean to say that you should always have your phone out and you should always be shoving it in people's faces. But if it's something that you can just quickly like take out, snap a picture or take a quick video, just to have it for your memories, like definitely do that, because a lot of the best memories that I have because of some of the pictures and videos that I took while I was experiencing the thing. And I look back on those things so fondly. I wish I had more pictures and videos of just my college experience, my late high school experience, and just things that I could go back to and actually have a physical image or a video to see and just to relive all of those wonderful memories. The third piece of advice is to really invest in relationships. Make sure that you're telling your family that you love them. Make sure that people around you know that you care about them. And the more you care about people in this life, the richer you will make their lives. And in turn, you'll make your life richer. Even if someone had all of the money in the world and all of the physical things, they wouldn't truly be happy, because in this life, it's really important to have good relationships with those around you, friends and family. So tell your family that you love them, tell your friends that you appreciate them, and start working on your relationships and making sure that they're strong and that you care about them, and that in turn they are cared about by the other party, because it will also make your life much better. Gage Anderson, one of my best friends in the world, asks, how did you start filming, or how did you get your start filming? I actually started filming when I was in like grade school. I think, maybe not grade school, like middle school, 7th or 8th grade is roughly when I started. And it was my younger brother, Nick, and I, we used to use like, I think it was our computer, like webcams on the computer. And we would just film us like talking about stuff or like doing random stuff around the house, playing games that we made up. And then that turned into my first YouTube channel, which came, I think, freshman year of high school or 8th grade, one of those 2 years. And that was a lacrosse YouTube channel, which maybe 1 or 2 of you have heard of or remember. I used to make videos about lacrosse and about stringing lacrosse sticks and doing that whole thing. And that was really when I started using a camera, and I went from like the MacBook webcam all the way to the iPhone, then to my first DSLR. And so I started to build this appreciation for filming things, and I haven't really practiced it my whole life like some people have, but it's something that I'm doing now a lot more often. And I absolutely love working with a camera. So great question, Gagey. I appreciate it, buddy. Madison Matlock says, if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? First off, shout out to Madison and Cameron, great friends of mine. If I was to only eat one thing, it would probably be a filet mignon. I love filet. And just like a nice steak dinner with maybe some asparagus or some broccoli or something, and maybe some like really, really nice mashed potatoes, and then a beautiful side salad, something like that. If I had to pick like a meal to eat for the rest of my life, that'd probably be it. Jordan says, tips for managing time during dental school for new dental students. This question was asked by a few people, and to all of you who ask about time management, I will just refer you to the video that I'm about to create on the topic. Once I make that video, I will leave the link right here so that you can see it. But basically in that video, I plan to talk about how I get everything done in dental school and how I manage such a busy schedule like the one that I have here at this point in my life. So stay tuned for that video. It should be out within like the next week, and it'll be linked right here so you can see that. So Mike, a classmate of mine, asks a few questions. Appreciate it, Mike. First question is, what's your favorite color? My favorite color has always been blue. Since I was like super young, I've always loved blue. But nowadays, since I'm older and I guess a little bit more mature or whatever, I like gray a lot, and gray's not actually a color, I guess, but as you can see, like pretty much my entire apartment's gray and everything's gray. I kind of like the way it looks. So blue, but kind of gray. Mike also says, who won the 1978 World Series? Mike, I have no idea because I'm not a baseball guy and I didn't want to cheat and look it up. So buddy, I have no clue. But maybe since you're from up north and specifically Chicago, maybe it was the Cubs, but I feel like the Cubs just had a massive drought. I don't know. Mike also says, what is a biocompatible metal commonly used for dental implants? My guess would be titanium. I think titanium is the most commonly used metal that's used in dental implants. So I'm not sure about the biocompatibility, but I think it's titanium. And then Mike also says, what is tidal volume? Tidal volume is the amount of air that we breathe in. So we inspire in and then expire when we're just sitting around and we're carrying out our normal breathing. So if you're sitting at the desk studying, your tidal volume is that amount that you're able to inspire and then expire just under normal circumstances. Thanks for the questions, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. Rochester 17 says, so I plan on taking the DAT this summer. Any advice and how long did you prep for it? So that's awesome. Taking the DAT is definitely pretty daunting, but it's a really exciting step in your life and in your career. I studied for the DAT for about 2.5 months, maybe 3 months. I started out with like just getting some Kaplan books and trying to get into it slowly, and that wasn't super effective. But I quickly got into DAT boot camp and I started using that, and I used that for about 2 months, maybe 2.5. Especially the last month of that was really hardcore studying. And DAT Bootcamp, like I don't think I could say anything else. Just use Bootcamp. I think that you'll find you'll do very well. It's super organized and they have all the content that you would ever need in there. I would also recommend using actually Anki for the biology section. That's something that I wish I had done, but I didn't know what Anki was back then. So try using Anki and making flashcards for the biology section and just like running through those cards every day so that you're familiarizing yourself with the biology material. Make sure you're practicing your reading and your PAT every day. You can do it like 15 minutes of each. It's kind of hard sometimes, but just stay diligent with that and you should be fine there. And just in general, try to keep the nerves down as much as possible. Make sure that you're exercising and you're allowing your body to kind of get away from the studying for as much as you can, and try to just relax, calm down, and really focus in when you're taking that exam. You'll do fine, I promise. Alex Ramirez says, what classes did you take in high school to be in dental school? So interestingly, I will refer you to my most recent podcast, the Talking Teeth podcast, episode 2, where I sort of talked about my path to dentistry and how I got to where I am now. I actually didn't take anything in high school that was specific to dentistry or even really science. I took all of the classic courses that you take to get through high school. And I did get into some of the basic sciences that I would, again, retake in college for dental school. But in high school, there's not a whole lot that you can do to prepare for dental school. Just try to enjoy yourself, try to get good grades, and focus on just kind of bettering yourself and enjoying the life that you're living. Joel Myerson says, top advice you'd give your 1 year ago self. So 1 year ago would have been March of last year, and I would have been still looking ahead at my first semester of dental school. And I think if I was to go back to that point and I had to give myself advice, it would be probably, I guess this is really cliche, but it would just be enjoy not having to do anything. At that point, my life was pretty much empty of all responsibilities because I had been laid off from my job because of COVID, which everybody in the world was. And I also I hadn't started dental school yet. I really just had every single day to do with it what I wanted. And I definitely enjoyed my time just like doing woodworking and doing random stuff. But I guess if I had to tell myself what to do, it would just be literally just enjoy it. Try not to say no to any opportunity, try to travel as much as possible and really try to enjoy the freedom, the true freedom that you have right before you start dental school. Because once you get into it, there's like no going back and you're stuck pretty much. and it's gonna be a lot of work. So definitely enjoy that time. Tom Krieg says, what is your biggest dental school study hack? It's been Anki. I talk about it all the time on this channel, but Anki was something that I discovered once I got into dental school. And it's something that has been great for me because it sort of takes the thought process out of studying. I don't have to sit there and think about what study guides I need to make or go through. I can just literally make my cards at every lecture, and then I can just go in there and study them and not really have to think about it. It's also been really good because it's given me a good grasp of a lot of the details that were asked about in the questions on our exams. So Anki is probably the biggest thing that I've enjoyed about studying in dental school. It's the biggest unexpected thing that I've done in dental school, so that's probably the best answer to that question. Rocha120 says, if you could time travel, where and when would you go? Honestly, so I thought about this one. This is a really interesting question. And I mean, time travel is one of those things that we can't really even wrap our heads around. And honestly, if I had to answer this question completely honest, I would say I would go back to the time when Jesus Christ walked this earth, just to be able to see him, knowing what I know now about him. I think that would be incredible and that would make my life. So that's probably where I would go, or where and when, just to kind of see him from afar would, I think, be the most incredible thing ever. And that's way back in time, so that's a long time ago. Because the rest of it's like, there's wars at every point in time, and medicine was really bad up until like pretty recently. So I don't know if going back like a couple hundred years would be that fun. Although it would be cool to see like what this country looked like and what a lot of the areas looked like without all the buildings and everything. That'd be cool. So Alpha MRX asked this question, or maybe it's a question, maybe it's just a statement. There's a couple emojis in it. I don't recognize what the rest of it says, but I appreciate the question nevertheless. I'm Kinji asks, what was your undergraduate degree? I've talked about this a couple times on the channel as well. I was actually an English major. I majored in English and minored in biology. Very different than pretty much everybody else that goes to dental school, but it's just something that I wanted to do, something that I enjoyed. And I actually have a classmate, shout out to Jacob, who also was an English major. And so it's definitely not unheard of, and you can definitely do something like that. Just pick something that you enjoy, make sure that you do well and try to get A's in all of your science courses, and you'll find your way to dental school. I'm Kinji also asks, when you're younger, do you always want to be a dentist? I guess, did I always want to be? I did, because, and I also talked about this in my most recent episode of the podcast, episode 2, where I just sort of talked about my career and my life. My dad was a dentist, and so I always had that sort of direction, and I was always planning on it. So yeah, I guess you can say I always wanted to be a dentist. And then he also says, the third thing, what are your regrets right now? I kind of said this earlier, but my kind of biggest regrets at this point are that I don't have more pictures and videos of all of the fun things that I've done in the past like 4, 5, 6 years. I think the time late high school and then college and then right after college, it's some of the more fun and free years of your entire life. And we're able to enjoy our lives at any point. But that time right there is really, really special. And I just wish I had like more pictures of freshman year, like when my roommate and I were sitting in our room just like watching TV, or I had pictures of all of us in the dorm hanging out and just stuff like that. Like I have a bunch of pictures and videos, and certainly more than my parents did when they were my age, but I wish I had documented it even more because the memories are really special. And every time I go back and look at what pictures I do have, I just go down memory lane and it's really fun. Smith Nye, a classmate of mine, says, will you remember me when you're famous? Smith, I will always remember you, buddy, because of the way that you smacked me around on the golf course. So yeah, I'm not forgetting you anytime soon, man. All right, so another classmate here, I just mentioned him a few questions ago. Jacob asked me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions, so here we go. What is your favorite color? Answered that earlier. Would you rather train chest and tris or back and bis? Dude, back and bis for sure. Nothing is better than working back, and then also biceps, yeah, for sure. How do you make your videos look so good? It's the camera. I'm pretty sure the camera is special. If you're wondering, it's a Sony a6500 with a Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. So it's that, and then also learning how to color correct has been really good, and then also learning how to work with audio has been really important as well. He also says, favorite memory involving a dog. Mine has to be when my family got our dog Lacey, and she was a tiny little puppy, and my mom and I went to pick her up in Birmingham, and we drove all the way back to Nashville, and Lacey slept on my chest for like 2 hours, and I just laid in the back, and it was incredible. But I also have a ton of good memories with dogs because I freaking love dogs. Jacob also says favorite classmate, pretty much anybody except for Jacob Foncea. And then his final question is, if you weren't creating content for YouTube, How would you spend your free time in dental school? Is there another hobby you'd be interested in? So it's funny because like creating content on YouTube at this point in my life is my hobby. It's the thing that I do outside of my actual obligation, which is dental school. So I don't know, I really do enjoy content creation. I think it's like a great hobby to have. Outside of that, I really got into woodworking last year, and that was like kind of a classic hobby that I really enjoyed. So before dental school, I built this desk here and did a couple other things. So woodworking is probably something that I could get more into. And then I love fly fishing, and I don't ever do it, but I love fly fishing. I love playing golf. Not all the time. Golf makes me upset sometimes, but those are two like sporting type things that I would love to do as well. If I had free time, I could definitely live a happy life, that's for sure. All right, so now I'm gonna move over to YouTube because there are a few comments on YouTube that I wanna get to. The first one on YouTube is from Daniel, and he says, I think you mentioned you had a girlfriend, and if so, how do you manage your relationship with her and friends in general while in dental school? I do have a girlfriend, her name is Rebecca, and she's wonderful. She actually lives back in Nashville and I live in Memphis, so we even are doing like a long distance thing. And the way that we've managed it is we keep in touch every day, of course, with FaceTime. Both of us are busy and we have busy schedules, so what we do is we FaceTime pretty much every night and we watch our shows together. We have like shows on Netflix that we watch, and we've watched shows on Hulu in the past, and nowadays you can pretty much you can even watch Netflix with someone without being with them. So we stay in touch every day, we talk every day. She is someone who has supported me through the entire process of getting through dental school, and someone who's been extremely important to me. And so that's actually been a positive thing about dental school for me. And then my relationships with my friends, I love my friends. I wish I talked to them more often, but I've made such wonderful friends in the last like 10 years. And I'm truly blessed by all the people that have touched my life. And so I do keep in contact with them. I don't talk to them, like I said, as much as I wished, but whenever I get to see them and hang out, you know, I love to prioritize spending time with them because they're some incredible people and really, really important to me. That being said, I don't really have a social life in dental school because I've got dental school, the YouTube channel, boot camp, and like everything else going on. So I don't have much of a social life, but I do enjoy seeing people when it's possible. Interestingly, Sosi asks, how do you do dental school and YouTube and podcast and your new job with boot camp? How do you manage your time and get everything done without feeling overwhelmed? Talked about time management earlier in that video, so check that video out. Lele says, hey, congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. You truly deserve it. Just had a little question. I'm a high school student and in my country, Egypt. We study our career of choice right after high school, so I have 2 years left to decide on what I want to do. And I've been researching about dentistry and I love it, but how do you know that dentistry is for me? Wishing you all the best. So this is a really great question, and it's crazy to think about this because it's like, in the United States, we obviously have 4 years of undergrad to kind of figure it out. And I think that there are positives to both. I think it's great to go ahead and get to work in your life and to start sort of making money and moving on. But at the same time, college is a great time to just figure out, you know, who you are, what you enjoy, what do you not enjoy. Just kind of have that time to figure out what your priorities are and to figure out what your life's sort of goal is. But you're doing the right thing already. You should be researching all of the careers that you're looking into, and obviously you're researching dentistry on YouTube, so keep that up. I think YouTube's a great place to kind of figure out pretty much anything about a career now. Everybody makes sort of day in the life type videos, so you can watch videos about how people go about their days in whatever job they're doing. And you can take that and then move into actually seeing people do their work in real life, which is sort of the form of shadowing. Try to shadow people, try to figure out if it's something that you can see yourself doing. The first time that I truly knew I wanted to be a dentist is when I watched it happen 2 feet from my face, and I was like extremely passionate and excited by what I was seeing. So if that's something that you're able to do, if you're able to get in and shadow somebody and you watch it and you just know that that's what you want to do, like you just know it. It kind of just hits you and you know it. So try to see it firsthand and you'll figure it out. But thanks for the comment and thank you for saying hi all the way from Egypt. So Leroy says, how was the transition into dental school and was it daunting meeting new people in a new place? I'll hit this part first. The transition into dental school actually was pretty smooth because, and I think this happens everywhere, but dental schools tend to kind of ramp you in. So they're going to start you off pretty slow. And the beginning of your first semester isn't going to be anything a whole lot different than undergrad. And so the beginning of your dental school experience should be great. It should be a time in which you can meet all of your classmates and do a bunch of fun things and just sort of settle into this new life that you're having. And then the difficult stuff will happen later. So I wouldn't say the transition is too difficult. Oh, and then I thought the second part was another question, but he says, I'm starting school in August at UPenn and I'm excited to join you on the dental journey. That is awesome, man. Congratulations. And also, you're like the third person in the last week that I've heard about going to UPenn for dentistry this coming year. So you've got a great class and people that are very connected and that are online meeting people and talking. So that's awesome. Best of luck. Enjoy it and just, go out and kill it. You're gonna do great. And then the last question is from Kevin, and he says, congrats on the 1K subs. My question would be, how do you stay motivated and focused through difficulties like burnout, long hours, and just the grind in general? I hate to do this, but I am going to also refer this to a future video that I'm gonna create. I wanna talk about this in more of a long form, and this video is already ridiculously long. So I will leave that link here as well to the video that I'm going to make about staying motivated and going through that, because that's something I definitely deal with and struggle with, is just staying motivated to do all of this and do all this hard work and just keep doing it day after day after day. So I will talk about it in the future, but thank you so much for the question. And with that, I wanted to thank you all again who asked me questions on both Instagram and YouTube. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who have helped me get to 1,000 subscribers. This is like a goal that I've always had, and I kind of knew it would happen at some point. I just didn't really know when. I'm glad that I've stayed diligent and I've continued to put out content. And I hope that there are many thousands of more to come in the future. Let your friends know about me and we'll continue to sort of build this channel together. I appreciate you all truly so very much for watching in the past couple months and subscribing. And I will see you in the future as we work on more videos, more content. And my voice is going. Thank you all, and I'll see you soon.